cabo una ofensiva devastadora en la franja de Gaza ocupada. Se ha dado muerte a más de 43.000 palestinos y palestinas y decenas de miles han resultado heridos, casi 2 millones desplazados, barrios arrasados, la ayuda y suministros que pueden salvar vidas restringidos, todo impulsando una catástrofe humanitaria sin precedentes. El término genocidio se emplea cada vez más para describir la conducta de Israel en Gaza. Pero, ¿cómo podemos evaluar si lo que está ocurriendo es realmente un genocidio? El primer tratado que define expresamente el genocidio y lo penaliza en el derecho internacional fue adoptado por la ONU en 1948 en respuesta a las atrocidades de la Segunda Guerra Mundial. Para demostrar que ha habido un genocidio, hay que demostrar que se han cometido uno o más actos prohibidos por la Convención sobre el Genocidio y que se cometieron con la intención de destruir, total o parcialmente, un grupo nacional, étnico, racial o religioso, en este caso, la población palestina. Es evidente que las autoridades israelíes han infligido deliberadamente estas condiciones y que saben que resultarían inevitablemente en una mezcla mortal de hambre y enfermedades, lo que nos lleva al otro elemento importante del crimen, la intención de destruir. La intención específica genocida ha de evaluarse mediante el análisis de los conflictos más recientes, al tiempo que se tiene en cuenta un sistema de apartheid, una ocupación brutal y los 17 años de bloqueo ilegal de Gaza, un historial de violaciones sistémicas de derechos humanos, construido sobre la continua deshumanización de la población palestina.
Better light a candle than curse the darkness.
This is where the first office of Amnesty International was set up.
The basement room overflowed with material, and upstairs we continued to receive letters from all over the world, letters of support and encouragement. This made it possible for us to think that we could turn the one-year campaign into a continuing international movement.
Amnesty International was to launch a worldwide campaign against torture at the UNESCO building in Paris in 1973. Amnesty's campaign resulted in the United Nations adopting a declaration on torture in 1975.
Degrading treatment or punishment. It is so decided.
It was in the 70s that Amnesty received a series of awards for effectively fighting human rights violations.
In 1977 had been declared prisoners of conscience year by Amnesty International. And the award of the prize is a most welcome support for our efforts.
On behalf of Amnesty International, the diploma and the gold medal of the Nobel Peace Prize for 1977.
I have the honor to present to Amnesty International the 1978 United Nations Human Rights Prize.
אנחנו מטילים מצור מוחלט על העיר עזה. אין חשמל, אין מזון, אין מים, אין דלק. הכל סגור. אנחנו נלחמים בחיות אדם ואנחנו נוהגים בהתאם.
For over a year, we've witnessed utter carnage unfolding right before our eyes in the occupied Gaza Strip with no end in sight. Many have described this carnage as the first live-stream genocide, day after day. What has your government done to prevent this genocide? What have your political leaders done? What are they doing now?
As part of Amnesty International's research, we have documented Israel's perpetration of 3 out of the 5 prohibited acts under the Genocide Convention since the 7th of October. These include killing members of the group, causing them serious mental or bodily harm, and inflicting conditions of life calculated to bring about their physical destruction. For example, this would include the destruction of essential infrastructure, including homes, agricultural land, water and sanitation infrastructure, and infrastructure indispensable to the civilian population. They also include the mass repeated displacement under inhumane and unsanitary conditions. And they also include the deliberate obstruction of entry of life-saving supplies and aid.
An entire nation out there that is responsible. It's not true. This rhetoric about civilians not aware, not involved, it's absolutely not true.
These racist, dehumanizing and genocidal statements call for the annihilation of Palestinians in Gaza and making Gaza unlivable. They provide evidence for Israel's intent to physically destroy Palestinians. As part of Amnesty International's research, we reviewed over 100 statements made by Israeli officials, and these statements clearly were echoed by Israeli soldiers on the ground. We have documented an unprecedented scale, speed, and seriousness of inhumane acts in Gaza. Palestinians are facing overwhelming trauma and pain. We have interviewed parents digging up the remains of their children with their own hands. And we have documented the mixture of hunger and disease that has ravaged Gaza, all while the healthcare sector has collapsed completely.
This must stop. And for genocide to end, governments around the world must come together and they must take action, resolute action. You must ask that they stop transferring weapons that are murdering children in their thousands and decimating entire Palestinian families. You must demand that justice be delivered, that all those responsible for the genocide be held to account. Perpetrators benefit from the inaction and the complicity of too many of our political leaders. No war criminals should ever be allowed to walk free, undisturbed, fearless. Let's put all our instruments into action. National tribunals, universal jurisdiction, international criminal court. Governments must do everything in their power to end Israel's genocide.
Are you fed up with politics of left versus right, of us versus them? Do you think there's too much talk of the economy when it's people and the planet that really matter? Do you believe we have a shared humanity and a shared responsibility for what goes on in the world, despite what politicians tell us? If you do, then you are one of us. Amnesty International is a global movement made up of more than 10 million supporters. And here's one of them. This is Kanza. She learned about Amnesty on social media and started signing and sharing our petitions online. She now volunteers as a youth leader in Pakistan, and she's a passionate advocate for women's rights, helping to inspire more young people to become campaigners and activists. This is Donatella. She's a crisis investigator, so she regularly turns up in war zones to dig up evidence of attacks on civilians. Here she is on a research mission, cataloguing the witness testimonies that we use to publish accurate and reliable reports on human rights abuses. John is a fundraiser in London. The money that he raises helps Amnesty to stay independent, which means our reports are taken seriously at all levels, from media platforms to global institutions like the UN. Matt uses online resources and data analysis to verify evidence of human rights abuses from his college campus. With people like him, Donatella, and the countless other researchers and analysts, we're able to tell the world the truth about human rights abuses and put pressure on governments to keep their promises and respect international law. And this is Kevin. He's part of a network of computer specialists who keep our systems secure. And he's the guy you call when the website goes down. This is Serge. He organises an annual letter writing event in the DRC, along with this letter writing event in South Korea, this one in the Netherlands, and all the others that take place across the world. They contribute to a global campaign to support all these people who've had their human rights denied. This is Andy. He's the video producer that made this video, and this is you. You're the one watching this video and worrying about the state of the world. But this time, there is something you can do. Donate what you won't miss. Campaign for something you believe in. Share this video. Join the movement.